Hi there. I'd like to talk to you about cryptocurrency investing today. So, first thing I did before I did this video is I was watching CoffeeZilla. He's my favorite scam exposer when it comes to cryptocurrencies and NFTs and stuff like that. And he did this three-part series on SafeMoon, which looks like it has built people out of billions of dollars potentially. At its peak, it was worth billions of dollars. Um, at least millions of dollars have been robbed by people within SafeMoon. But you can watch CoffeeZilla's videos on that himself because he and his team are the ones who did the research. They know the facts. I don't know the facts that they've got other than what's in the videos, and I'm not qualified to speak about that. So after I got done watching the ad and thinking about it, I went into Forbes and I looked at their list of the top 10 cryptocurrencies, and surprise, surprise, the cryptocurrencies that I own, which I own for free. I didn't have to pay for them. Number one, I have Steam dollars, which is because I blog on Steemit, and that was a waste of time because unless you were getting yourself into groups and posting bumping each other's each other up with votes, you basically didn't get any traction on that website. And I've been there since I think since shortly after Steemit became a thing, and my value on there is I've got a few $100s in Steemit, I think. And that's all because of my own efforts. I put in many, many hours of my time. So basically, I lost money with all the effort that I put into that. I also have, because I use a Brave browser, I have the bitcoins that are produced by the Brave browser, which is BAT, B-A-T, and so, anyways, on the Forbes, they listed all these coins, and looking back in the old days, I'm sure there are a lot of us who were like, "Gosh, I wish I had known that these would be the coins, and I would have invested back then." So they have like Bitcoin, Ethereum, Tether. Oh, wait, Tether was exposed as a scam by CoffeeZilla. Why would Forbes have that on the list? That's strange. And then, of course, there's the US dollar coin and the Binance coin and the XRP. Another Binance coin, Cardano, Solana, and Doggy coin, which people say Dogecoin. It's Doggy. That's why the logo of that coin is a dog. Doggy. Dog-E. Oh my God, people. It's not that difficult. So anyways, yeah, so I'm not an expert about cryptocurrency, but I'm going to put out some ideas here. And if you know about cryptocurrency sufficiently well, I would love to hear your thoughts on what I'm saying. So I want to compare investing in cryptocurrency versus traditional investing, like either going to a bank or credit union and getting a CD or some other kind of investment vehicle at a financial institution, or investing in the stock market or in government bonds or something like that. Now, when you get like a bond or a stock, you get a paper certificate that says you are the owner of X number of shares or whatever it is in the company, or the valuation that the money that you'll get upon maturity, and how much interest accrues over time. I've got a U.S. savings bond somewhere, probably out in Denver, that I can't get a hold of, that belongs to me. And it was bought for me when I was still a teenager, so it's probably worth a little bit of money. If only I could find it. But I can't get a hold of the guy who probably has it. So, yeah. Anyways, when you invest, the point is, if you invest through the stock market, stocks and bonds, that kind of thing, shares, you get a certificate of some sort. Of course, there's no guarantee that that company won't go belly up, right? The company can go belly up, and you can lose all your money. That happened to me at two different companies I was working at, where I agreed to be part of the program that they offered shares to the employees. So I bought into that, and I lost thousands of dollars on both of those, because both of those companies ended up really struggling. I don't know if Magnatech Drives and Systems in New Berlin, Wisconsin still exists, but I lost big time on them, and eventually I got a notification from the company that was handling the shares that my money, it was worth nothing. My account was closed. And then I invested in another company called Rhythms Net Connections. That was in Denver, Colorado. It was the third largest independent company that provided a connection between the phone company and your home or business via DSL. They weren't. They were the hardware side, not the internet service provider. So we would partner with ISPs, and invested in them. And then the company started having trouble because of the 2001 .com crash, and then the CEO dumped all her stock, and investors fled like rats from a not sinking ship, because it wasn't sinking. It was a liquid company, and there was no reason that investors ran from it, because it wasn't a .com. It was a legitimate business. But we all got screwed in the end, except for that CEO and a few other higher-ups who walked away with golden parachutes. So anyways, to continue, rather than ramble on about that. So if you go to a bank or a credit union, I never recommend banks, because banks are basically a big... Well, let's just say that banks are in it for themselves. They don't give a crap about you, and you won't be treated as special unless you've got millions in the bank, okay? So go to credit unions. But anyways, if you invest at a credit union, they will also give you a certificate for whatever you invest in, all right? And of course, banks and credit unions are backed by the federal government. They're, the FDIC for in the case of banks, and then there's a different acronym for the ones for credit unions, something like, I think it's FDCU maybe. So if you lose your money, the government will refund you up to, I think it's $200,000, $250,000, something like that. So at least you get something back. You don't get completely washed out like you would on the stock market. But the point is these are brick and mortar institutions and businesses, and there is a contract, there is a certificate, there is backing. This is a tried system with known pitfalls, and unlike in some other countries where banks spring up and routinely bilk their customers out of money by the leaders of the bank will run off with all the money and move to another country. That doesn't really happen much, if ever, in America. So then let's look at cryptocurrency. What do you get with cryptocurrency? Well, you get your wallet, of course, or wallets. And you get assurances from whoever is running that particular cryptocurrency. But, there are big buts here, okay? And I'm not talking about posteriors that you sit on. I'm talking about big conditions. So, do you get a certificate? Is there a physical certificate? Is there accountability? Is the company actually being transparent? Are they being audited by an independent auditing company every, let's say, 6 months to verify that they are liquid, that they have the backing that they claim they have, that money isn't being funneled somewhere that it's not supposed to be going, and if money is being transferred, it's being transferred to where it is supposed to be going instead of going into somebody's pocket, and all sorts of other questions that these auditing companies can answer. So, for example, Tether, they were supposed to be doing audits, and then they refused to do audits, and that got them CoffeeZilla's wrath. And he did the expose last year, and then also when SafeMoon had an audit done, the company that audited them that said that there were major concerns about the safety of SafeMoon. And I haven't seen the report itself, but that's what was reported by CoffeeZilla. So, what assurances do you actually have? If we go back to Tether, Tether actually changed the terms of their product and got rid of things that were inconvenient for them that they had been promising for a period of time. And in the case of SafeMoon, they switched from one thing to another thing to another thing, and they did some really shady things. So, like the guy who founded it, Kyle, which started out as Bitcoin, he made millions of dollars by doing what's called a rug pull. That's where you take money out instead of and use it illegitimately or illegally, lying to your customers. And some of the other top members of it, including Tom Smith or Papa, and John something. He's got parents who are from the CIA, and he was living. He's funneled large amounts of I'm talking like millions of dollars out as well, and he's the current, I believe, CEO. And so basically, when you do traditional investing, yes, there's risk, but you do at least have certifications that you own that money. And it is tied to something real. Okay? When you talk about investing in cryptocurrency, however, there aren't certifications, although you do have a unique wallet. And what you're investing in is not real. It's something that exists only in the digital world, and therefore it only has value as long as people decide that it has value. That's kind of like those old AOL CDs that they used to send all over the United States to get people to sign up for AOL. Most of us just threw them in the garbage, but some people kept them as collector's items, and some of those old CDs are worth a lot of money now. Well, for me, those old CDs remain garbage, but for some people, they are valuable. It's all in the eye of the beholder, right? So, the way I look at it is this. You do traditional investing, and you take a risk, of course, but you're investing in something real, and you may get a return on your investment. And then if you invest in cryptocurrency, you invest in something that's like NFTs, that's not real, and you may get a return on your investment. But there's no backing by the federal government. There's no assurances that what you're investing in they're going to do what they say they're doing. There's a long list of cryptocurrencies where people have set up a cryptocurrency and then pulled the money out, run off with it to another country or whatever. It's happened over and over and over again. And then there are these people who will promote, there are influencers on social media who will promote a product. They'll buy, but before they promote it, they'll buy lots of it. Then they'll promote it until the price of the cryptocurrency goes way up. Then they'll dump it all back into the market, and the price flattens again. So they make money off of making people speculate and then running off with all the money that was put into that cryptocurrency, which destroys even valid cryptocurrencies because they're doing pump and dumps, which is something that John F. Kennedy and Robert F. Kennedy's father did something similar to that. Not cryptocurrencies. He did that with businesses, but it's a standard practice, and I'm pretty sure it's illegal to pump and dump. But if it's not right now, it should be. But to me, if we look at the coins that have a long-term standing right now, like Bitcoin, Ethereum, and stuff, we can feel pretty confident that these coins are worth investing in. But unless you are a millionaire, you can't afford to invest in them because they're worth so much money that's just not possible. It's just huge value at this point in time. I believe, I don't remember, but in 2016, Bitcoin you could buy one for $500, and now it's around $20,000 according to the Forbes article. So how many of us can afford to invest in that? Certainly not the average person. But again, so I really think that it's very hard to know which coins, which new coins especially, are safe to invest in. And if you're looking to YouTubers and other social media influencers to give you advice on what to invest in, you should be very, very careful, especially if those people are buying in as well. Because they could just do a pump and dump, like Ben Phillips likes to do. And then you can talk about Jake and Logan Paul. They do all kinds of shady stuff with NFTs and cryptocurrencies, and several other guys out there. So, people are looking for an easy way to invest. If you want an easy way to invest, go find a fiduciary. Fiduciary is a person who can't charge exorbitant fees to help you get invested in different kinds of vehicles. They're like a financial planner, but they cost less money. Okay, so go to a fiduciary if you don't want to have to, do the research yourself. But if you're going to do your own investing in cryptocurrencies, you need to spend the same amount of time you would spend analyzing and researching and stuff that you would do if you were going to invest in the stock market. It's not something for the average person to just throw money at, unless you've got tons and tons of money and you don't mind losing some. So don't look at Bitcoins and NFTs are even bigger of a joke. Don't look at Bitcoins and other large coins as possible for the average person, and don't look at new cryptocurrency as being a safe investment. You have to be very, very careful. You have to seek out all the information you can find and consult with actual experts, not celebrities, not influencers, not some local yokel who thinks they know what everything is about everything about cryptocurrency. Not me, okay? I'm not going to invest the time necessary to invest in cryptocurrencies. Maybe I would eventually find a cryptocurrency worth investing in, but I don't see that at my point in life, with the amount of money that I have available to me, I just don't see that it's going to be possible for me. So one final thing that I have thought about with the cryptocurrencies is, if you are going to invest in a company that is providing cryptocurrencies and you're investing in the cryptocurrency, not the company itself, right? If you cannot see all of the wallets being used by the company and where all that money is going to, you cannot trust that company, number one. Okay? So if it's not transparent, don't trust them. Even if you can, you have got to have software that can track all the transactions. Because if you don't, here's what a person could do that has control of Bitcoin, control of a cryptocurrency, and wants to scam the holders of that currency. If they have access to the liquidity pool, which is the collected money that's been invested in that cryptocurrency, and they start funneling money out of it and explain it to the investors, I'm preparing the liquidity pool for version 2 of this cryptocurrency, for example, or some other excuse. If you try to track it, so they say, okay, I'm transferring the money from the liquidity pool to this wallet. So you look at the wallet that's referenced, right? And you say, okay, there's the money. But then you start noticing money's going out of it. And you see, okay, so some of it's going into the wallet for the new liquidity pool, right? but some of it's going somewhere else. So you ask the owner, the controller, where's that other money going to? They'll say, oh, well, this is a payout of interest for investors that we're sending out. And so then you're going to see a large number of wallets being listed potentially. Or to pay out to employees for their quarterly bonus or something like that. Because of all the hard work, they were working like 10, 15, 20 hours a day, 7 days a week and stuff like that. So we wanted to give them a bonus because of their hard work. Oh, and this is an investment and stuff. So if you're looking at a few transfers, or you're looking at tens of transfers, that's something you could do with maybe a spreadsheet and enough time, right? But when you start to see thousands or hundreds of thousands or millions of transactions going in and out of the liquidity pool, both the old one and the new one, or whatever you're looking at, you're not going to be able to track it all and to figure out what's going on, especially if somebody's deliberately trying to hide flimflammery. If they're deliberately trying to funnel money into their own wallets, they're going to make it as convoluted and complicated as possible, so that unless you have specialized software that can track all of the transactions, you're never going to know what's really happening. How can you? I mean, if you're looking at, in a day, thousands of transactions, in a month, millions of transactions, in a year, billions of transactions, there's really no way. And then even if you do have the software, but you don't know who owns the wallets, you can't definitively say what happened to that money unless somebody does something stupid and it says like, oh, I just invested and bought the Mona Lisa, and they link to their wallet. And the wallet happens to be in your software, and then boom, you see that millions of dollars was transferred from the liquidity pool illegally into that person's wallet, and there's the smoking gun, right? But if you can't do that, if you can't find that, if you can't find ownership of wallets, if you cannot definitively understand what has happened with the money that's been put into the liquidity pool and then moved somewhere else, you're screwed. I mean, they can take it and they can invest part of the liquidity pool to earn interest for the owners into some market or other, right? They could put it into traditional marketing. They could put it into NFTs. They could put it into the cryptocurrency market in general. There are lots of different ways to invest, right? If you can't track all of that, you don't know what's going on with the money. And if they start saying, oh, and here's an example from the SafeMoon trilogy that CoffeeZilla did. They said they were taking 10% out in fees, and 5% was going to go to the Bitmart investment vehicle that they had set up, and then the other 5% was going to be distributed to the investors as a return on their investment. So, but you had to be on Bitmart to do that. So what ended up happening is that first 5%, it just disappeared. And there are lots of other things that they did with the money. I mean, between Kyle, John, and Thomas, they took at least tens of millions of dollars out of SafeMoon and walked away with it. Well, John's still trying to hold on, and Tom Smith, or Papa, is trying to make himself look innocent. But, the FBI is investigating them, and there's a lawsuit, and there's recordings of them, certain members of them saying, delete everything because the FBI hasn't told us don't delete any records yet, and they can't do anything if we delete stuff beforehand because, we were just cleaning up our mailboxes or whatever. That is pretty scammy. So, let me know what you think in the comments. Are you a cryptocurrency expert? Or do you just kind of dabble? Or does what I said make any sense? Especially about trying to track wallets and stuff like that. I'd be curious to hear your thoughts on it. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you have a great day, and be careful when you invest.